Hey losers, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with a spoiler-filled review and discussion of this summer horror book, Until Summer Comes Around, by Glenn Rolfe. So, like I said, full of spoilers. There's spoilers, so I can't be more clear about that. And now, onto the book. So I'm gonna give a little synopsis of this. Try not to be too wordy, I guess. In this, we're following a boy named Rocky. He is 15, turning 16, and this takes place in the 80s. So one thing that I thought was kind of funny, just in the very beginning, is the author's definitely trying to establish that this takes place in the 80s, and it's almost like, Rocky gets up in his 1980s bed and puts on his 1980s shorts, walks down the 1980s stairs to his 1980s can of Pepsi, and watches MTV in the 1980s, right? It's just like, it's laid on really thick, so like I was a little bit apprehensive at first, but that definitely settles down a little bit once he's established everything. And that's one thing I did really enjoy about this book, is the little town that they're in. It's like a little New England beach town, so there is definitely, you know, tourist season in the summer. Other than that, it's a small, quiet place, and he definitely fleshes that out very well. There are quite a few like side characters that we hang out with, and sometimes I find that overwhelming, or I don't remember who is who, and so then I'm irritated because I'm like, who is that? Are we supposed to know this guy? But he does a really good job with that. It reminded me a lot of like Tommyknockers by Stephen King, how he has that whole city of Haven, like, you know everybody and you know all their bullshit, you know what I mean? And I love that. So this was really great in that aspect. Anyway, Rocky lives in this small beach town, right? It's the summer season. There's lots of tourists. And he meets this girl, November, who's not a local. And she is just everything he could, a 15-year-old could hope for, but in a really nice way. And so there is this like teen summer fling thing going on, but I found that to be really nice and sweet and not irritating or weird or inappropriate. I don't know, like it felt like a authentic teenage summer thing, which I really liked. I hate it when it feels weird and inauthentic, you know what I mean? So he meets November, things are going really well, and then suddenly they aren't, because November has this creepy older brother named Gabriel, and also a family secret, which is that they're vampires. Rocky has a hard time dealing with that, and while all this is going on between Rocky and November, there is a huge rise in, all of a sudden, like all these missing persons and all these missing pets, right? All these missing persons, and nobody knows who it could be, except for we know who it is. It's Gabriel. He is a crazy monster vampire who is like overfeeding himself, and like the vampire family in this book, they talk about how you know, they can survive on animal blood, they don't really need human blood, and you know, too much is definitely not a good thing. But Gabriel takes it way too far, and now he has like this bloodlust and he can't control it, which is why all of a sudden he's just murdering like 4 people a night, even though he doesn't need it. And so Rocky isn't doing well with this info that November's a vampire, and also Gabriel's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and he just like gets really weird about it and comes after Rocky's family. And Rocky's father and his uncle are both killed, and in the end Rocky has to save his sister and his mother from Gabriel, and he's able to kill Gabriel, and November kind of goes away after that. You know, Rocky still isn't cool about the vampire thing. He's like, this is weird, I don't know how I feel about this. And she's like, okay, well, I'll wait for you. And so in the end, you get this nice, sweet thing where it's like, I don't know how many years later, he's an adult now, and She walks into the bar that he's in finally because he's like, maybe I am ready for her to come back. So, that's nice. It's a nice ending. And so, I liked this for the most part. I thought that the pacing was very steady. There wasn't really anything that grabbed me about it though, and like made me want to keep reading. Which I know sounds weird when I talk about the things that I like about the story, I guess. But it's like at any point I probably could have put this down and felt okay. And so I don't know how I feel about it exactly. Like, it was not bad by any means. The writing was good. Good characterization. There's just, I really need something just a little bit more sometimes. And this really could have done with a little bit more, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I guess this is a pretty short discussion because I'm kind of on the fence about it. There's nothing I really disliked. It's just that there wasn't anything that really, like I said, grabbed me. So, yeah, I'd like to know what you thought about this. I do think that this has fantastic summer vibes though. It takes place in the summer in a beach town. It's a coming of age story with a teenager, so he's like riding his bike and shit. It feels very summery, and also there's like a little summer romance. So it's definitely a summer vibes book that gives you summer vibes. So I think that is fantastic. So I don't know. I'd like to know what you thought about this. If you read it, did you like it? How did you feel about it? Did you feel like similar to me? Like there could have been something more to really like solidify a stronger feeling about it. I don't know. Let me know. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.